Hyökkäys aukemassa vaasalaiselle. Saari. Paikka Morrissey ampuu pallo maaliin! Steven Morrissey avaa maalihanat täällä.
Helan viereen. Tuolla tulee vielä Morrisseylle ja VPS 2-0 johtoon. Kivan näköinen pallo, siihen tulee Joonas Vahtera pelaa Morrisseylle ja VPS 3-0 johtoon.
Pallo keskikentällä ja sitten lähtee Morrissey liikenteeseen. Oi mikä on ratkaisu ja Morrissey läpi! Morrissey läpi! Ja jämäkäläinen afrotukka pistää pallon kolmannen kerran reitari JK maaliin! VPS puolustus Veri aivan loistava avaus ja vieläkö siitä Morrissey tekee kolmannen maalin? Kyllä tekee! Steven Morrissey illan hahmo, täytyy kyllä sanoa, että hattu päästä! Se on hattutemppu Steven Morrisseylle!
The thing I can remember most, I think, is this short guy, I think Taco, waiting for me at the airport. That was my first memory. And I think I came maybe late that evening, I think maybe 12 or 11 in the night. First time in Europe. And crazy enough, I had training the next morning, like I think 9 or 10, after traveling like 36 hours. So that was one of the craziest things for me.
So a bit of jet lag.
Yeah, but you know, I had to come the next morning to train, so it was still back on my head, quite crazy that day.
And well, then your first memories about VPS, so you just said about your first training after a long flight and traveling, but anything else?
Yeah, I think when I came, lucky enough, I think that year they had a striker who couple of years before was playing for VPS. And when I was in Norway, I was in on trials Norway a couple of years before, a year or two before coming to VPS. He was here also, and then they signed him in Norway. And then when I came here, I see him, I'm like, oh, this guy again. I heard. So it was quite crazy, but it was quite easy because we had a Jamaican guy playing that year also. So it was quite nice, but good experience.
Yeah, soft landing.
Yes. Debut match. I played in 2011. I'm not sure. I don't remember if it was TPS. I think we were losing, and I came on and win a penalty. But that's the first game I came on, I think, and we win 3-2. I think Edgar Bernard scored that penalty.
How about the organization, like the whole team and the organization, VPS? How was it then compared to now? Like,
I think
how everything works and
then I didn't know so much people outside of the team, especially from the office, because at that time I think they had a small office outside the city. So then I didn't know so much people, like who is manager, who is staff. I think the only person as I know at that time was, I think, the coach at the time and Taco. Other than that, I don't know anybody else outside football at that time. But compared to now, we have more contact with people from the board, from the office. So from then to now, I think there's a lot of improvement in that we see people and know who is who. Yeah.
No, yksi kaikkien aikojen pelikavereista tietysti, että jos vähän lainataan sitä chanttia myös, mitä Stevenillä on. Että, no, mistä nyt aloittaisi? En mä tiedä, mun mielestä Steven on tietyllä tapaa jopa ollut niin kuin vähän aliarvostettu tässä niin kuin vuosien saatossa. Mun silmissä Steven on niin kuin aivan huippupelaaja ja Se tietysti, kun meillä on pitkä yhteinen historia, niin mä myös tunnen, että mä tiedän, miten me saadaan siitä tavallaan parasta irti. Joo, en mä tiedä. Stevenhän on semmoinen erikoismies tavallaan, että se ei ole meidän niin tämmöinen perus suomalainen futaja kuin me monet muut, että sillä löytyy sitä X-faktoria ja Steven voi ratkoa pelejä ja tehdä muutoksia peleihin, niin se on niin miten tämä nyt kiteyttäisi, että vaikea tämä on niin lyhyesti sanoa, mutta todella erikoinen pelaaja ja ollut niin ilo ja kunnia pelata sen kanssa näinkin kauan, että kyllähän me tällä hetkellä jo tunnetaan toisemme tosi hyvin kentällä ja sen ulkopuolella.
2013 was quite a crazy year for your football career, am I right?
Yes, it was, and so also on a personal level, it was quite crazy. I think one of the most, how do I describe this? Quite good disasters here. It falls in different times. I think in January, I went to Denmark after leaving VPS 2012. The first months was quite really good. I was happy that I would get a chance to show myself outside Finland, and for Jamaica and playing outside Jamaica was quite big at the time because I was one of the first Jamaicans to actually sign there in Denmark, like on a serious contract. So it was big that time when playing there. Then disaster started when I got some injured when the league just started back. And then after that it was up and down with injuries and some personal stuff I wish I could talk about, but after I end my football career I will put more of that details about that journey. But then I planned that after the season was going on, the best decision I make that year I think was not to go to Jamaica. When I left Denmark after the season was not to go to Jamaica. I had a few friends in Finland here also, so I was like, okay, don't go Jamaica first, fly to Jamaica, Finland, because I was in Europe already. So to go Jamaica, come back. So then I came Finland. I still had contract in Denmark, but when I came Vasa, I was walking around the city and there was news that I was in Vasa. So the news spread quickly, and yeah, it was I think Vasa Cup at the time, and there were some kids, and surprisingly, this is my ear is like some card image for me. I cut it, and then I didn't know that people still recognize me, and then kids do recognize me because I colored my hair a bit. And then I take a couple pictures with some kids who was in the city from that Vasa Football Cup. And then things start happening outside, that is Steven coming back to play for VPS, and then I got other interest from other teams that find out that I was here in Vasa.
Vaasan Palloseura on tehnyt pelaajasopimuksen uusvanhan pelaajan kanssa, jos näin voidaan sanoa, eli Steven Morrissey palaa Vaasan Palloseuran riveihin. Sopimus on 2,5 vuoden mittainen, eli kattaa tämän kauden sekä kaudet 2014 ja 2015.
No ensinnäkin on hienoa ja mahtavaa, että Steveni valitsi VPS:n. Et me tiedetään kaikki, että Stevenillä on ollut ottajia myöskin muualla ja varmaan isompia tarjouksia, mutta se, että Steveni valitsi Vaasan Palloseuran, niin tietysti osoittaa sen, että Steveni näkee myöskin tässä seurassa potentiaalia ja mahdollisuuksia mennä ja menestyä myöskin tässä seurassa, ja se on tietysti iso asia.
So it was quite crazy year, I think, also. And then personally, why that year was quite crazy when I had to make some decision in my life. I think that year and that time, I have never talked to my mom about like football and what I want, and she's like the only person who's like, yeah, once you're happy and everything is okay. So I called her, and at the time I had some interest from other team, and like, what do you think? She's like, it's up to you, what makes you happy. You know, that's the first time I ever talked. She liked that I play football, but wasn't concerned about me playing football so much. She just always wanted to know that I'm happy. So that was the first time I asked her advice in football matter, and she's like, do whatever makes you happy. So I did at the time and stayed in Vasa. I did like terminate my contract from that team in Denmark. So I think that's one of the biggest decisions I've made in my football career, because I could have option to go back there. The managers and a couple of the people there wanted me to come back, but the experience after the few months wasn't the best experience. And so I say I have to talk about that personal experience after I quit football, not now.
How about the bronze medal in Vasa in 2013?
Oh, yeah.
Your experience?
Yeah, my experience from that, I think the team was doing quite well, because when I was in Denmark, I was still following the team. So the team was quite up there and doing good, and then I just came back in the last spot and add to the team, add to the attack and help them. So I helped in the last spot, but the team that year, the guys who did a fantastic job to get the team to that in that position to keep them in a medal place. I just came and helped in the last spot. So thankful for them that I actually had a medal for if I came in third, not only me. Unfortunately, I don't have that email, because I lost that email a couple years ago. That was one of the decision why I stayed in Vasa also, because I had that bad experience in Denmark, and then coming to Vasa, and then the fans write a letter to you, and then it was somewhere outside the stadium, and then it was like all over media. So you know, feel that you're appreciated and wanted was like one of the biggest things for me in my life, that you know they do care, and that's why I want the decision also to stay in Vasa was quite easy that year.
Stevenillä on semmoinen tosi kuiva huumorintaju tai huumori, mutta mä ainakin sytyn siihen, että me nauretaan kyllä paljon kopissa. Et muuten niin kuin isommissa porukoissa niin Stevenhän on aika hiljainen. Ei ole missään nimessä ujo, mutta ei koe mitään tarvetta ikinä olla niin kuin huomion keskipisteenä. Mutta sitten kun tuolla kopissa ollaan tai treenikentällä tai kavereiden kesken, niin kyllähän Steven on niin kuin huumorimiehiä ja erittäin ystävällinen, ottaa kaikki huomioon. Ja on tosi hyvä siinä myös, niin kuin, kun on ollut monta vuotta niin kuin varakapteenina, niin ottaa näitä nuoria tosi hyvin huomioon ja antaa heille pieniä vinkkejä kentällä ja kentän laidalla. Loistotyyppi.
Yeah, my experience, to be honest, I missed the first 2 years. I think 2014 I got injured. I think I broke my arm that year. And then the other time when we did qualify for Europe again in 2015? Yeah. I had a knee operation, so I missed 2 of those Europa games. I had to stay in Vasa and watch it on TV. So it was quite crazy, because that year I had like really good preseason, both years in winter, and I was feeling really good, and then get injured. Like the first injury was in the first game, and the second injury, like the knee operation, was I think 1 week before the league start. Yeah, so that was really bad on my part. But then 2016 we did qualify and played my first Europa League game, which was quite nice and crazy. I was quite a bit nervous before I left home, but the memory I have of that when I left home is when I reached close to the stadium. There were like fans coming in to the game, and like 10-15 fans stopped to take pictures with me. For me, I think that was the best experience other than playing. I think the experience that the fans were happy that I was going to play my first game more than I was happy. I was quite nervous at the time.
Yeah.
So they were happy that I was playing more than I was happy to be playing.
You were shaking and nervous.
Not shaking, but you know, it was my first game and it was the first time we played at home.
Yeah.
So it was like crazy. But when I meet those fans and how happy they were, I think that they take the nerves away from me that day a bit. Yeah, that was crazy also, because we had like planned how we're gonna play them, and I think how it worked out well, that because we defend quite a lot that game. It was like me alone playing against their entire defense line. And the crazy enough, I think that game Seba was on the bench, and as we get the ball and I get a breakaway, as we get the free kick, Seba came on and scored from that free kick first touch. That was like quite really nice experience also.
What did it meant for you to get back to VPS-liga VPS?
It meant a lot because I had, to be honest, I've sacrificed for the club 2 years of playing in a lower division when I had the opportunity to go and play in another VPS-liga team. But that year I made the sacrifice to stay because I get some like information that the club weren't doing so good, and for a player like me to stay that year would give the sponsors and the fans a bit of hope that we have really a good chance to stay, to come back to VPS-liga. So staying and getting back the team to VPS-liga was really a great feeling. I think the last part of last year though, when we're playing those games to qualify, I think it was one of the most 3 to 4 months of my life where my focus was really high. I wasn't like the last couple of goals I scored in those games, I wasn't celebrating because I scored some of those goals quite early, and not celebrating it wasn't because I know that it wasn't so important goals, but most of those goals were like early in the game. So I think I was trying to keep calm, try to still keep the focus because I know that it's not finished until that last game. And that feeling after the last in Guineastown when the whistle blow, that's when I felt a relief. I'm like, yeah, the job has done. That's when I start to like break a bit, start to smile again and start to feel like, you know, high and getting back promoted. But those months were the most focused I've ever been in a long time.
How about, what dreams do you still have like regarding your football career?
Trying to win VPS-liga, of course. And a couple years ago, I have a dream of trying to get the leading goal scorer for the VPS-liga. And it changed after I get injured the first year, then the second year, because those years are when I had like really high hopes of performing well because I had really great preseason. And I think 2012 when I scored 15 goals that season, the guy who scored was a leading goal scorer, I think had 17, and I missed like a couple of games that year, so it would be one of my, you know, top level of priorities to try to be the leading goal scorer. But after years coming now, my main focus is not only about scoring a lot of goals, it's just perform good, and when I perform good, I know I will score. So being leading goal scorer, things like that, now I get older, is not so much important to me, like the team winning the games, and that's it.
And you said earlier on that maybe you'll talk about after your career in a few years. Well, what are your thoughts and plans after your football career? Do you have any or?
To be honest, the plan is to, after football career, is to go live in that beach house in Jamaica and drink a couple pina coladas and rum and, you know, something. Yeah, but that's like the main plan, you know. I said to a couple of my teammates, Seba and them, like after I retire, I'm gonna invite most of them to come and live, spend a free 2 weeks or a month in that beach out with me. So that's one of the plan. But maybe still get involved, still be involved in football somehow.
Yeah. Maybe
not coaching, maybe assistant to a coach or something like that, because I see your coaching can drive some of our coaches crazy. So
you don't want to be one of them.
It's quite, after football, I think for me personally is to still be in contact with football, but not to be so focused on it, because I spent so much of my life in football. So after my football career, I think maybe the first year or so, like take the step back but not too far, you know.
Yeah.
Still be around a team or something. Maybe if I'm still in Vaza, maybe still around VPS or something, hopefully. But let's see.
Onhan Steven varmaan aika ainutlaatuinen ulkomaalaispelaaja siinä mielessä, että tuntuu melkein vepsukasvatilta jo. Ja kyllähän mä tiedän, että meidän kannattajat ja vaasalaiset arvostaa Stevenia tosi paljon ja syystäkin. Et ihan uskomatonta, miten lojaalina hän on pysynyt kanssa tälle seuralle. Ja jäi seuraan myös, kun me pudottiin ja oli nostamassa takaisin, niin kyllä ekstra arvostus on tietysti siitä kiinni, että ei lähtenyt siinä vaiheessa menemään. Samalla eihän Stevenillä ollut aina helppoa täällä olla. Et se on niinku, täytyy muistaa, että se on aika kaukana kotota ja ei ole edes eurooppalainen, vaan tuolta Jamaikalta niin tarvii kaikki nämä niinku työlupa-asiat, niinku viisumit, mitä kaikkea nyt onkaan, niin on ollut paljon haasteitakin matkan aikana tässä.
Who is like one of your like longest good friends from the teams, or who's the player who's stuck in your mind, and why? Like from your old teammates or your teammates now, or?
Of course, it have to be Seba, and I think also Yonta is like my little brother. But mostly I think because we have been through a lot in the club, not only playing, and we both have been through a lot of emotions in that dressing room, on the pitch, a lot of good times also. And I think with him also, we did stay and stick in Vaz and bring back the club to VPS-legenda. And we have quite good friendship outside the football pitch also, you know. No one then joking about stuff and all these things. And for Seba find me funny, hopefully he see this. He think I'm funny and think I'm too clever, so hopefully. But he's one of the person who have been like my best friends and close friends here in Vaasa.
Can you tell us like your best memory with Seba, like outside football or in football, or
well,
are there too many?
There's too many, but I think last year was one of the best ones. I think when we get promoted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't play that game in Guineaston because he was carved out. I think after that game, I think we start to go celebrate it with the fans. He came, I take the captain band off and give him, because, you know, we bring the team back to VPS-legenda, and for me and him and the guys, we stick there and stay with the club and bring them back. I think that was one of the most amazing feeling that time. Yeah, he was going to say he was going crazy in the stand stuff, but I had to do it for him, you know.
Yeah. Well, how about your best memory in the whole of VPS? Like,
well, I have so many, but I think the best one was, to be honest, I think maybe there's like three. The best one I think was scoring my first goal for VPS, 2011. I think previous games I came on like 4 games before that, close to scoring, getting penalty. But the first time I started for VPS again, IFK Mariam, and Seba was playing for Mariam that time, 2011. So that was my first memory. I scored in that game.
Do you want to tell us a bit about the goal? Can you remember how it went?
Yeah, I think we had a combination on top of the box. I played to Turnerberg first touch and he played back, and I shoot left-footed far corner. That was like one of my best memories playing for VPS. Okay. Yeah, and I think the second one also was really good. I think we played Latier for first time when we first get the turf. I think I remember 2006. I was coming off, and then the fans start to sing that song for me, the Steve Morrissey song. So that was one of the memories that was really good. The first time they sing it and I heard it, I didn't understand what it means anyway, but
you just had your name.
Yeah, I heard my name, Stephen Morrissey, so I just like, yeah.
You heard they talking about me.
Yeah, so those are the couple of the moments that I do remember.